like one of us doing wide. Mullo?
Not quite as action.
Which race?
The first race with Corey Boddington off the front. But here we go.
So on Pike, yeah?
Okay. Off the front, she rolls off now, and Olivia Wright takes over. She swings up down the back straight. Very short, sharp turns from the whole team. Now we've got someone starting to make a move on the backside of the track. Danica Blinko leads them through across the start line with 5 laps to go. No one keen to give too much away in this one as they come out of 3 and 4. Into the front straight now. That's Seb Freer. He rolls up. Josh Nixon now. He goes. Quite a sedate pace as we roll around. That looks like it might be Lauren Perry making a move around the top. Just getting into a position around as they come into the front straight with 3 laps to go. Ben Woods has a look around. He's keeping an eye on Lauren Perry, that's for sure. That's a smart move. Riley Boyd, he's coming around the outside now. Now we're starting to bunch up, and we'll get 2 laps to go. And it's going to be Lauren Perry leads them through. And here's a flyer coming around the outside. That's Maya Dillon. She wants to set the pace up now. Maya Dillon down the back straight. She's got company there as well. As she rolls up. Down into the front straight, they'll get the bell. There's the bell. It's Liliana Tataranoff. She goes to the front, followed by Maya Dillon. But then around the outside, it looks like it's Riley Boyd. He was biding his time, looking at Lauren Perry, but it's Riley Boyd coming around the outside. Riley Boyd comes across the line for the win, followed by Liliana Tataranoff and Lauren Perry. Lilia Tataranoff, sorry. My apologies. Have my own personal name champion up here with me today, Ian Jones. He's going to remind me of when I stuff up, and I'll correct it as quickly as possible. He's very European these days. All right, next up, Heat 3, Cam Douglas-Savage, Josh Franks, April Paddy, Bella Potts, a lot of young guns in this one, Eden Sealy-Cunnington, Keita Smalley, David Hutton, Maddie Smith, Flynn Larkins, Vic Smith, Peter Macris, the Greek god. He's followed by Sandra Stoy, Jerry O'Connell, the grandfather of cycling in Queensland, Maddie Douglas-Savage. Oh, that'll be Heat 4, so that's all of them up to Jerry for Heat 3. Right, here we go for Heat 3 of our 8-lap scratch race. What a way to test some of these sprinters' legs. We've got 2 days of racing here at Anime's Velodrome, kicking off tomorrow at 9 a.m. But as we head back to Heat 3, as we roll around, it's the one and only local girl, Maddie Smith, rolls through, followed by Victoria Smith. Then Jerry O'Connell, followed by Flynn Larkin, Sandra Stoy, Eden Sealy-Cunnington, Peter Macris, he's in there as well. So Jerry hits the front now. He starts to wind up. Jerry will be quite happy to set his own pace for this 8 laps. Not his specialty. He hands it over to Flynn though. So Flynn instantly opens the floodgates. This is under 17 gear for Flynn Larkin, so a big difference in the cadence. So Flynn comes through now. He's got 6 laps to go. He's a man on a mission. He's chased down now by Eden Sealy-Cunnington. That's Peter Macris in third wheel there. Now it's Flynn Larkins though. Got a slight gap over Eden Sealy Cunnington. Peter Macris now winding that gap back in as he winds that big gear up. 5 laps to go for Larkins. Then it's Macris, followed by David Hutton. Larkins rolls up. Macris in the front now, followed by Hutton and O'Connell. So Hutton leads through. Then that's April Paddy in third wheel. April followed by Barry Woods. Skip it. Now we've got some action. It looks like that's Hutton back on the front. No, that's Woods still on the front, followed by Hutton, then Jerry. Larkins back up the front, followed by Potts. Then it's Cater Smalley. 2.5 laps to go. So we roll through now with 2 laps to go. Hutton on the front, followed by O'Connell, followed by Potts and Smalley. Now with 1.5 laps to go. Now it's Hutton goes. Can Jerry O'Connell respond? He can't. He's getting out now. It's going to have to be for these young guns behind Jerry to go. But it's Hutton off the front. Some big gaps around the field now. Now Larkins goes around the outside of Jerry. Cater trying to go with him, but into the front straight with a commanding win. That's David Hutton. He comes around. Now it's Larkins into the front straight. He takes second over Cater Smalley. And then that looks like Cam Douglas Savage. So great move there for David Hutton, controlled the pace. Jerry couldn't respond, Larkins having to go around the outside. Next up, moving in to Heat 4. Speaking of young guns, Matty Douglas Savage, Flynn Jensen, Oscar Winchester, Greg Hutton, Max Edwards, Rory Fisk, Milan Bradshaw, Indy Plant and Alexis Phillips. Milan, Indy and Alexis sandbagging a little bit, I think. Let's see what they can pull out in this heat. All right, here we go for Heat 4. It's going to be young Flynn Jensen lead them through as we're all grouped up. So Jensen, Phillips, Bradshaw. Greg Hutton, Flynn Jensen getting in behind Greg. We just saw David Hutton take a good win last one around. Now Rory, he inherits the lead down the back straight. They're all looking around. So good to see track racing at Anamir's Velodrome in July. Max Edwards now. Unpredictable, this young man, as he comes through. He's got Oscar on his wheel. Oscar now, he starts to heat things up. Greg Hutton looking very, very comfortable in second wheel. Oscar flicks the elbow. Greg Hutton rolls through. Jensen's on the wheel. Hutton, very happy to set the pace. As he rolls into turn 3 and 4, he flicks up the track now. Now it's Flynn Jensen. Flynn on an under 15 rollout, as is Matty Douglas Savage. Rory, I think, is under 17 as our opens. Maddie flicks up the track, hands it over to Rory. Rory's got Milan Bradshaw glued to his back wheel. Now Milan inherits the lead. These sprinters playing it coy. They should do a Corey Boddington and just go. Alexis Phillips now, she rolls through. Everyone looking at everyone. Alexis rolls up the track. She hands it over to Max Edwards. Then it's over to Oscar. Start to see Milan making some moves on the inside, on the middle there now, as she makes her way up towards Oscar. Indy plant around the outside. We know how fast Indy can be. Now Oscar ups the tempo as they come around with a lap and a half to go. Indy's going to go for a flyer from a lap and a half out. Oscar matches the pace on the inside. He's got the sprinters line. Oscar Winchester with a good move, holding his ground there. Now he's got a bike length over Milan Bradshaw. She makes ground, then the back straight. Flynn Jensen trying to go with Milan. He's doing so. Can't get around the outside. Milan now trying to come up around the outside. Milan Bradshaw on the line. Oscar Winchester, Flynn Jensen and Rory Fisk. Good ride there from Oscar. Just got pipped on the line. Milan Bradshaw, we know she's got some good legs. Just got over the top. Special mention to Henry Richardson. It's his 10th birthday on Monday. If you see him around the grounds this Arvo, make sure you say happy birthday to him. Next up, Heat 5. The real young guns. Whitfield, Henderson, Cunnington, Evie Rose, Henderson, Cunnington, Paddy Richardson, Jack Mulling and Winter Bradshaw. Here we go for our youngsters. Evie Rose is going to lead them through this time around. Another 8-lapper. A wide variety of gears here. Evie Rose under 13. Winter and Paddy on under 15s. Whitfield, he's under 11s. And Jack, I think, might be under 13s. Trying to recall back from the Bundy Cycling Spectacular. I'm having memory trouble, but it's Evie Rose leads them through. Winter Bradshaw on second wheel as Evie flicks the elbow. Winter with a brand new hairstyle, nice shade of purple as she flashes by, but it's Paddy Richardson. He goes through and he flicks the elbow. A bit of gamesmanship going on here now as Evie Rose goes through. Winter straight back onto that wheel. Jack Mulling now back up. Paddy Richardson, elbows out. He goes around the outside, catches Winter napping a little bit there behind Evie Rose. With 6 laps to go. But it's Paddy Richardson on the front. Winter now chasing him down as Paddy swings up. They've still got 5 laps to go, this time across the line. Winter doing a bit of powerlifting training during the off-season. We'll see how her sprinters' legs come up over the next 2 days, or today. Now Paddy having another crack. Paddy Richardson round the outside. He's going to attack, attack, attack. Flicks the elbow. Now there's Winter and Paddy off the front. Those two can go together. Jack Mulling now. He's got a bit of work to do to get around the outside of Evie Rose. He wants to join in. Whitfield across the line now. But out the front, it's Winter, Paddy, Jack Mulling, and Evie Rose has muscled her way back in as they come out of 4 into the front straight. Evie Rose with a bit of grit and determination. She's not just a one-lap sprinter. Now on the front, Winter Bradshaw. She's been inseparable with Paddy Richardson. Paddy goes again, elbows out. Paddy opens up the gap over Jack Muirling. Evie Rose stuck to Jack's wheel. Paddy now opens the gap to Winter with 2 laps to go. He looks around, he decides to go again. The gap of about 2 bike lengths. Down the back straight, Winter's going to have to pedal hard here. Paddy looks around. No need for that. Head down and go with a lap and a half to go now. Around Whitfield they go. Paddy looks around again. There's the bell. Now it's just 1 lap flat out. Paddy Richardson, has he got the legs left? Winter Bradshaw looks around now. She's getting tired. Jack Muirling, he starts to up the pace. He might catch Winter Bradshaw as they come down the back straight. Paddy Richardson, though, looks around again. Comes into the home straight, elbows out. Paddy Richardson, he takes the win. He looks like he's happy with that. Followed by Winter Bradshaw, Jack Muirling, Evie Rose Henderson Cunnington, and Whitfield Henderson Cunnington. And with that, we have started racing at Anamir's Velodrome. Next up, we've got some keirins. If you keep your eyes peeled to the track, you're going to have see the rare sight of a bear riding a motorcycle. He's going to do a few warm-up laps before we hit the keirins. As Bear Liang very, very casually comes through the infield looking for his motorcycle. If anyone has borrowed his motorbike, can you please give it back to him? We hate to see a lost bear. Looks like he's going for a little bit of extra speed as well. That might be Corey Boddington's aero helmet. We weren't joking, he really does have an aero helmet on. And he looks amazing as he rolls around on that electric gurney. We hear on the grapevine that Bear has some wind tunnel testing booked during the week. He's going to get as aero as he can before the next round of Blackline. He feels comfortable though, he's warmed up. We'll hit our keirins. Heat 1. And what a mix of riders got here. Toby Jones, recently back from Europe. Mitch Louis, who's on his way to the World Champs later on. Angus Withington, Lockie Walters, Patrick May, and Xavier Bland. Lining up, so it looks like it's going to be Lockie Walters from the Hamilton Wheelers Cycling Club. He's lined up. Next up, it will be Xavier Bland in the N-Swiss kit. Mitch Louis and Toby Jones, the back of the field. Angus Withington there in fourth wheel. That'll be Patrick May in the other New South Wales kit. So on the front, Lockie Walters, Xavier Bland, Patrick May, Angus Withington, Mitch Louis and Toby Jones. As the Derny rolls by, we get the whistle. So Lockie Walters on the wheel of the Derny, followed by Xavier Bland, Patrick May, Angus Withington, Mitch Louis and Toby Jones. So no movement in the first lap. From here on in, riders can take position or move up the field. If the rider behind the Derny moves out of the spot and the next rider in line doesn't move up, it's incumbent on that lead rider to go back to that position. Can't open up the gap too big between yourself and the rider in front of you. So roll around now. Bear will roll off. Lockie Walters inherits the lead. So we saw Lockie Walters at the Austral Wheel Race come through for a tremendous finish in December last year by doing exactly this, just breaking the field down lap by lap. Angus Withington now, though, he wants to get around the outside. Withington goes. Toby Jones, he's going to follow Mitch Louis through. So it's still Withington on the front. Now it looks like it's Bland coming through. He does. Mitch Louis right on the line for the bell as he rolls around. So it's Louis and Bland down the, around the back straight. Into the front straight now. Mitch Louis, he comes around the outside. Louis, followed by May. And then that's Toby Jones, freshly back from Europe and looks like he's grown about another 8 feet. There you go. So Angus, Mitch and Angus and Patrick May, all off to Junior Worlds. They've got some fundraising pages going as well, so check those out. I think a lot of these young riders are heading off to different world champs over the coming months, so check them out, help out if you can. Next up, Heat 2 of our Keirins, Mitch Stevens, Will Emilias, Seb Topping, Chris Mullins, Max Woodruff and Luca Pyatt. So it'll be Will Emilias on the front, followed by Chris Mullins. Looks like Woodruff in third. Sorry, that's Mitch Stevens in third. Then Woodruff. Then Luca Pyatt. And Seb Topping in the QAS kit. He'll be our 6th wheel in Heat 2 of this Keirin. So we roll through. Aaron Bear-Liang on the Derny. Will Emilias, Chris Mullins, Mitchell Stevens, Max Woodruff, Luca Pyatt, and Seb Topping. I think all of these guys heading into under 19s or open gears for the first time. So, but it's Will Emilias on the front. No change in the order as they've completed their first lap. So Mullins opens up the gap a little bit to Will Emilias on the front of him. As the Derny rolls off, Will Emilias inherits the lead. Very good at controlling the pace, Will Emilias. Very good eye for what's happening behind him and a very, very, very quick reaction time. As Will looks around now, and it looks like Pyatt makes his way around the outside. Will, he's going to jump on that wheel, quick, smart. He does so. So Pyatt now on the front. Will Emilias, he's happy with that. He's got a wheel. Then it's Seb Topping, Mullins and Topping, side by side, fighting over the wheel of Will Emilias. As they get the bell this time around, Luca Pyatt. Now it's Topping trying to go around the outside of Will Emilias. 3 wide down the back straight. Pyatt in the sprinters lane. But Seb Topping coming around the top. Will Emilias in the middle. Topping going for the line. It'll be Topping followed by Stevens and Emilias. Heat 3. This is for our riders who have travelled more than a couple of 100 kilometres. We got Seb Freer from Bendigo, Ben Woods from Blackburn, Riley Boyd, Lockie Trenton, Isaac Byrne and Tom Williamson from Brunswick. And then we've got the local boy, GT, Georgie Tucker from Rockhampton. Ian Jones taking bets. GT's got this one in the bag. No pressure, George. So on the front, Isaac Byrne from Brunswick. At the back, George Tucker from Rockhampton. Probably couldn't get 2 further clubs from each other if you tried. In front of GT, that is Riley Boyd. Lockie Trenton in behind George Tucker. Tom Williamson, he looks like he's got 3rd wheel. And Ben Woods. Seen a lot of Ben over the years. He's a very fast young man. Be happy to see what he can come up with today. Looking for Will and Helen Tucker. That bike you've got, Georgie, that's a piece of work. They're up there with Ray Smith, I think. Don't know why Ray's not hit the boards this afternoon. Victoria Smith here, though, representing. So they come round. 2 laps down already behind the Derny. Isaac Byrne happily behind the wheel. Now we start to see some movement from the back. As Lockie Trenton drags George Tucker with him. So they come round, the Derny rolls off. It's Byrne on the front. Has been from the start in his wheel. Freer. Now GT starts to make a move around the outside. So Tucker and Byrne at the front now with Freer. On GT's wheel is Riley Boyd. Now Tucker around the outside. He's going to go long with a lap and a half. He's got some good cadence, George Tucker. He looks like he's grown a little bit over the summer as well. So Tucker gets the bell. Now they all start to move around the outside. They look like it was Byrne going again. Byrne around the outside of Tucker. So they come down that back straight. So it's still Byrne on the front. Riley Boyd is coming around as well. But Byrne across the line. Ben Woods there. He came in for second, followed by Riley Boyd. I've got a proper pen, if you want it. Next up, Heat 4, Cater Smalley, David Hutton, Flynn Larkins, Caleb Blitchfeld, Corey Boddington, Josh Nixon, and Ruben Smith from Wangaratta. On the front, Cater Smalley. Geez, he's shown some improvement over the last year or two. Behind him will be David Hutton, followed by Flynn Larkins. Then it's the Canadian, Caleb Blitchfeld. Josh Nixon and Corey Boddington on the back. I've missed someone, Ruben Smith there. He's in 4th position. Smalley, Hutton, Larkins, Blitchfeld, Smith, Nixon, and Boddington. So we roll around, 1 lap down behind the Dooney, so no one moving in that first lap, so it's Cater on the front, followed by Hutton, Larkins, Blitchfeld, Smith, Nixon, and Boddington. Corey with a dominant display in the opening scratch race. Does he look to do the same here? And can anyone keep up with his tempo? As Boddington buys his time at the back. Cater Smalley still on the front, followed by David Hutton, then Larkins. Blitchfeld now looking to come around the outside. He's going to bring Ruben Smith with him. That's Ruben Smith around the outside. He's going to take Nico and Boddington with him. Now it's on from 2.5 laps to go. They really want to get this pace on fire. You can see that there's only one under 17 in this group, and he's pedaling like crazy to keep up. But now it's Boddington, the Paralympian, around the outside. Ruben Smith stands up, and he still watches Boddington go. Boddington opens the gap. Ruben Smith chasing him down. There's the bell. So Boddington, Smith, Smalley, Nixon, Hutton, and Blitchfeld. Larkins now across the line, but it's Boddington all by himself out the front. Boddington with time to look around. He comes across the line, followed by Ruben Smith and Cater Smalley. And then our under 17, Flynn Larkins, he comes through saying, please give me bigger gears. Moving on to Heat 5 in our ladies race, and this is a hot one. Olivia Wright, Ella Liang, those two are off to Junior Worlds. Danica Blinko, Emma Stevens, Ebony Robinson, and Maya Dillon. What a field. Yeah, you're on the list for that, Damo. Thank you. Great to be back and racing at Anime's Velodrome. As we head into our first ladies' keirin for the afternoon. So on the front, that looks like it might be Maya Dillon. So Maya Dillon on the front, followed by Danica Blinko. Then we've got Emma Stevens. Then Olivia Wright and Ella Liang. So Maya Dillon in the N-Swiss kit, she leads them through, followed by Danica. Then it's Emma Stevens, Olivia Wright and Ella Liang. Ella in last wheel because she's embarrassed by her father on the front with his aero helmet on. So no changes in that first lap. It's still Maya Dillon, followed by Blinko, Stevens, Wright and Liang. So 2 laps down, no change. Now we start to look around. Blinko looks at Stevens. Stevens looks straight back. Maya Dillon focused on the wheel in front. She'll inherit the lead this time across the line. So Maya Dillon sees that there's a gap. Will she go on with it or slow down a little? Danica Blinko just keeping that gap open a little bit there. As Liang slides into Emma Stevens' wheel as Olivia Wright goes around the outside. Now Maya Dillon, the only N-Swiss rider in a QAS sandwich, but Maya's holding them back. She's doing a great job with a lap and a half to go. Stevens winds it up from the back as they start to roll through. So Blinko, Stevens, Liang, Dillon and Wright. They've got the bell. This is the last lap as they come around 3 and 4 into the front straight. Good win there from Danica Blinko, followed by Emma Stevens and Olivia Liang. Oh. Yeah. Ella Liang, that is. Next up for Heat 6, Lilia Tataranoff. Armley Sanders, who we've just seen over with the ARA Skip Capital team, racing road in Europe. Sophie Sutton, Lauren Perry, April Catt and Paige Squire. So on the front, Armley Sanders. We've got Lilia Tataranoff. In the middle, Sophie Sutton. Then it looks like we've got our South Australian girls, April Catt and Paige Squire. And on the back, Lauren Perry. Lauren Perry riding in the Tas kit. I think she lives up here in Queensland now. So Armley Sanders on the front. Followed by Lilia Tataranoff. Then it's Sophie Sutton. April Catt and Paige Squire, and then Lauren Perry. Looks like everyone's pretty happy with their position at the moment. Armley Sanders, we saw her dominate through her junior years. Be great to see how she develops into an adult rider. So Sanders to Taranoff. Still in the front, followed by Sutton. Then we've got April Catt having a look around. She wants to know where Paige Squire and Lauren Perry are. Now it's Perry starts to wind it up from the back. Armley Sanders can see that coming as she increases the tempo slightly. Now she gets out of the saddle. So Lauren Perry has been winding up for a half a lap already. Now Sanders side by side down the back straight with a lap and a half to go. Jumps onto Lauren's wheel. Now Lauren controlling the race. So Lauren Perry. It's April Catt coming around the outside. To Taranoff now, she jumps. Armley Sanders got herself boxed in there. She's got nowhere to go. She's trying to get around Perry, but she can't. To Taranoff. Armley Sanders just misses out on coming around over the top of Perry. So to Taranoff, Perry and Sanders. Tight racing so far already. What a way to kick off this event this weekend. Next up, Morella Willis Hell from Norwood, Maddie Smith from the Gold Coast. A crowd favourite from Rocky, Victoria Smith. Then we've got the Greek guide, Peter Macris, Sandra Stoy, Jared O'Connell, and Milan Bradshaw. The quartet of UQ riders. So coming up to the fence, Sandra Stoy. She'll be followed by Milan Bradshaw. And that looks like it will be Morella Willis Hell. Then we've got Peter Macris, Maddie Smith, Victoria Smith, and Jerry O'Connell. Track is back. It is indeed. As Bear Liang rolls around on the moto, Sandra Stoy will be followed by Milan Bradshaw. Behind Milan, that will be Morella Willis Hell. Followed by Peter Macris, Maddie Smith, Victoria Smith, and Jared O'Connell. Jerry's been out of racing so long he nearly went around on the first lap. Good to see Jerry back on two wheels. So Sandra Stoy locked into that position we're so familiar with. Milan Bradshaw glued to her wheel. Willis Hell with a little bit of a gap now. Jerry, he wants to come around the outside. And the wily Victoria Smith, she goes with him. She sees a good opening there. She fights off Willis Hell to get that wheel. Milan Bradshaw now, she's a little bit boxed in by Jerry and Victoria. Maddie Smith following the wheel of Peter Macris. As the Derny rolls in, Stoy leads them out, followed by Bradshaw. Jerry still trying to get around the outside. Willis Hell, he's boxed in. Victoria Smith doing some smart riding so far. Sandra Stoy controlling the pace. No one's gone around the outside of Sandra so far. Milan being cagey. She's keeping her gap open. Now Victoria Smith goes with a lap and a half to go. Peter Macris, he cranks it up. He comes way around the outside of turn 4. Now Sandra Stoy, she begins the lift. But it's Peter Macris. He had one of his world famous T-bones last night. He's full of energy as he goes around the back straight. Peter Macris around turn 3 and 4 into the home straight. Macris will take the win. Not a problem at all. Followed by Willis Hell and I think Milan Bradshaw just over the top of Sandra Stoy. So Victoria Smith, the animator in that one, but it's Peter Macris who comes away with the win. Next up, a good mix of riders. We've got some new riders mixed in with some old and some young riders that feel like they've been around for a long time. Maddie Douglas-Savage back to her favourite hunting ground, inside, out of the wind, out of the rain, out of the sun. Flynn Jensen, he's been around for a long, long time now. Oscar Winchester and Rory Fisk, they've been doing the Jets program on a Monday night. Be great to see them out here racing. Great to see how they'll go this afternoon. Along with Oscar and Rory, we've got Indy Plant. She's a fixture here at Animere's Velodrome. And then it's Alexis Phillips. All right, here's our young man on the front, the young sprinter from Balmoral, Flynn Jensen, followed by Alexis Phillips. Then that looks like it's Indy Plant, Rory Fisk, Oscar Winchester, Hutton and Douglas-Savage. Hutton stopping for some photos on the front straight. We can get those signed later on. Sorry, that's Barry Woods. My apologies. Barry Woods getting some photos on the front straight. Now Douglas-Savage on the back. Her brother, who we're all familiar with, ZDS, he's off racing in Italy on the road at the moment. Still got his trademark smile and orange helmet, so good to see Zachary doing some good things overseas. A lot of our young Queensland riders heading off overseas for a road campaign in 2025. But it's Jensen, Phillips, Plant, Fisk, Winchester, Woods and Douglas-Savage. Yeah. So we roll around with 4 laps to go, one more behind the Derny. Flynn Jensen and Maddie Douglas-Savage, they might be up against it here. They're on under 15 gears, which is a rollout of about 6.2 metres, which is a big, big gap to fill. So Jensen rolls straight up. He knows he wants to get a wheel to get around. Oh, a bit of push and shove at the back between Woods and Douglas-Savage. Douglas-Savage, though, stoic and holds her ground. Don't mess with the Maddie. So on the front, it's Alexis Phillips. Everyone looking around. Indy looks around. Rory Fisk now. He inherits the lead as Indy heads to the top of the boards. Now Woods sees an opening. Goes, I've got some big gears. Catch up, youngsters. We're off. So Barry Woods opens up the gap, but it's Rory Fisk. Has he got the gears and the legs to go on with it with a lap to go? But it's Barry Woods. The superstar, Barry Woods, heads down the back straight. He's got the gap. He's followed by Rory Fisk. Rory will have second sewn up, but it's Flynn Jensen. Elbows out on that under 15 gear. Jensen with a good ride over the top of Indy Plant. Maddie Douglas-Savage, Oscar Winchester and Alexis Phillips. Next up, Cam Douglas Savage, Josh Franks, April Paddy, Bella Potts, Eden Sealy Cunnington, Greg Hutton, and Max Edwards. Good ride there from Woods, followed by Rory Fisk. Flynn Jensen on the under 15 gears. He did well, come in third. Don't forget, next weekend we have the Oz Cycling Queensland State Road Championships up at Bundaberg. Friday through to Sunday. Friday we've got our criterium racing. Saturday with the road race and Sunday with the time trial. On the front of the fence though, it looks like that's Bella Potts having a yarn with April Paddy. In third wheel, Cam Douglas Savage. I think he's on Zach's old track bike. He is. I can't believe Dad's getting kid hand-me-downs now. So Cam Douglas Savage, he's in third wheel. Then it's Hutton, Max Edwards, and Eden Sealy Cunnington. So we close the gaps up. Cam Douglas Savage onto the back wheel of April Paddy. Hutton comes along. Max Edwards. So Max on under 15 gear setup, so he'll be up against it in this one as well. All of our other riders on open gears. Are they on 17 gears though today? They are. My apologies. So Bella Potts, April Paddy, both on under 17 gears as well. Max on under 15s. So no Josh Franks. As the Dooney rolls off, Bella Potts inherits the lead. She hands it over to April Paddy. Then it's Cam Douglas Savage, followed by Greg Hutton. So Bella Potts in behind Greg now. She saw what he did in the last race and has decided that's a great wheel to get onto. So April Paddy, she's going to ride this one from the front with 2 laps to go. So Paddy now, eyes forward, starts to look around now. Cam Douglas Savage on that beautiful golf painted Cervelo as CDS now takes off, followed by Greg Hutton. Bella Potts, she chose the right wheel. Now it's going to be a matter of getting around the outside. As Cam Douglas Savage, look at Bella Potts go as she heads into 3 and 4. Can't get around Greg Hutton, but it's Cam Douglas Savage. Bella Potts just in for second, and Greg Hutton in for third, followed by April, Eden, and Max Edwards. Good win there from Cam Douglas Savage. And our final for this first round of Keirin's. Got our junior riders, Whitfield, Henderson, Cunnington, Evie Rose, Henderson, Cunnington, Paddy Richardson, Jack Morling, and Winter Bradshaw. As our riders come round to the front straight to meet Lise Benjamin. Up on the fence, it'll be Paddy Richardson, followed by Jack Morling, Evie Rose, Henderson, Cunnington, Winter Bradshaw, Whitfield, Henderson, Cunnington, and then Kerry Henderson. She's going to line up as well. She might be running this one. As Winter Bradshaw just collects herself again. Jack Morling, first saw him up at Bundaberg last year at the Bundy Cycling Spectacular. Looks like he's progressed a little bit since then as well. He's going to be a sharp young rider. Paddy Richardson having a great run. Our little CX champion, he was down in Sydney last weekend and had a great run. He's headed to Ballarat in August. He's got a national title to win, and I think he's got one hand on it already, maybe. He's looking pretty sharp. So all the best for Paddy down in Ballarat. Thank you. I've got one here as well. Yeah. All right, Paddy Richardson, Jack Mooling, Evie Rose, Henderson Cunnington, Winter Bradshaw, and Whitfield Henderson Cunnington. Kerry, a non-starter. All right, as Whit jumps back on the back of this train. So good to see our only under 11 in the field out there. That's what it's all about. Bring your kids to racing and get some experience. So on the front, it's still Paddy Richardson, followed by Jack Morling, Evie Rose, Henderson Cunnington, Winter Bradshaw and Whitfield. Heart of a lion, that young man. He never gives up. So half a lap more to go behind the Derny. All right, as Paddy Richardson inherits the lead. Jack Morling from the Ipswich BMX Club. No wonder he's got some legs. So, but Paddy Richardson on the front, he's doing all the work so far as they come around with 2 laps to go. And they're all bunched up as they head across the line. Richardson, Bradshaw, Morling, and Henderson Cunnington. Now Paddy gets the elbows out. Out of the saddle down the back straight. Winter Bradshaw glued to his wheel. What can she do in this last lap? We'll look to see her zip around. But it's Morling who's going to make a move now as well. Winter Bradshaw around the outside of Paddy Richardson. She's still got a long way to go though. Paddy drops the head. Now he kicks again. Can he hold Winter up? Winter goes around the outside as they head into the front straight. Winter Bradshaw, elbows out, head down, across the line. Bradshaw, Richardson just over the top of Evie Rose, followed by Jack Mooling. That concludes our first round of Keirins. What a start. We're into track season already in July. Now into our eliminations. So we'll have 3 free laps and then 1 rider out per lap. And it's a monster field.
Just reminding you, I'll call the numbers. It'll be 3-3-33 each lap.
Perfect, thank you.
Glenn, can you please confirm you heard that? Glenn, you got a copy?
So we head into our eliminations. So 3 free laps on the front, then 1 rider eliminated every lap. Got a scratching from this one, Luca Pyatt from the South Coast Cycling Club. Luca, a regular fixture at track nationals here at Adam's Velodrome as well. As we start to roll off, Mitch Stevens, Will Emilias, Toby Jones, Mitch Louis, Seb Topping, Chris Mullins, Angus Withington, Lockie Walters, Max Woodruff, Patrick May, Xavier Bland, GT, Caleb Litchfeld, Corey Boddington and Ruben Smith. Will the endurance riders try and break the sprinters early? Can anyone stop Corey Boddington? He's been on a bender already today, barely broken a sweat. So 3 laps, free to race. That's Caleb Litchfeld from UQ. Heads off the front. GT's going to chase that down. Long way to go in this elimination. But we're all strung out. I think this might be a deliberate tactic to see how long these sprinters can hold on for. Got some big names in there. Will Emilias, Mitch Louis, Topping, Mullins, Withington. All big sprinters now. We're going to start with our eliminations. Looking to the back. That might be Mitchell Stevens in trouble. Down the bottom though, Will Emilias. Not a great spot to be. And it is Will Emilias, the first one out. I don't think that young man will be too happy about that. He was in a good spot. But we still look towards the back now and a rider's in trouble every lap. That's Max Woodruff now, our next rider eliminated. The pace is high, so when you're on the back, you're in trouble. Down the bottom there, Mitch Stevens looks around. Chris Mullins looks around. Angus Withington, our next one out. As we head around, all spread out. Rider 13, Toby Jones. Bit of a surprise elimination, that one. I expected Toby to be up there towards the pointy end. Now Mullins in trouble at the back. We see Chris Mullins loves to ride like this. Corey Boddington. We see the first chink in his armour. Doesn't realise he's been eliminated. Now he does. Now Mullins out. Bit distracted by Corey Boddington on that one, I think. But anyway, he'll fight another day. So on the front, it's GT. He's been controlling the pace all along. Seb Topping now eliminated. Geez, these laps have flown by. Now on the front, Lockie Walters, we know he can go long distance and he will be comfortable. Patrick May looks across going, please be me. He looks like he was happy to be eliminated that time around. Mitch Louis, he's off the back now, so we see all the sprinters. So Mitchell Louis, our next one eliminated, and then across the track it's Patrick May. He might already be resigned to the fact. It's our main group of 5 roll across the line. Xavier Bland, is across the line. Next one eliminated now, only 5 to go. As I think that time around, Ruben Smith, I don't think he realised he was the last one in the queue. Now Blitchfeld, he's in trouble. He's at the back. As we start to fight, Mitchell Stevens coming around the outside. GT might be in trouble. George Tucker got boxed in, had nowhere to go. Down to a top three. So Walters, Stevens and Blitchfeld. Caleb coming around the outside as Walters has to get out of the saddle. Mitch Stevens is our second last one out. Now it's between Walters and Blitchfeld. As Walters hits the gas pedal, opens up the gap. Lockie Walters across the line. He'll take the win. Caleb Blitchfeld, our last man out. Pace super high on that elimination. I imagine there's a few riders down there taking notes. To get rid of the sprinters, just set the pace high. Good ride there from George Tucker. Heat 2, Olivia Wright, Ella Liang, Danica Blinko, Emma Stevens, Ebony Robinson, Seb Freer, Ben Woods, Riley Boyd, Lockie Trenton, Isaac Byrne, Thomas Williamson, Maya Dillon, Lilia Tataranoff, Armley Sanders, Sophie Sutton, Lauren Perry, April Catt, Paige Squire, Morella Willis-Hell, Milan Bradshaw, Indy Plant, Josh Nixon and Alexis Phillips. So a few non-starters this time. Olivia Wright not making the boards. Ebony Robinson. Lockie Trenton. I think I met Lockie down at the Christmas Carnivals down in country Victoria over Christmas. Fine young man. Isaac Byrne, he's also out. And Paige Squire. So a big field. Will we see the same pace that we saw in Heat 1? As Alexis Phillips rolls through with Armley Sanders and Lauren Perry. At the back to Taranoff. Will she play the elimination game and be the sniper from the back? The elimination, one of the few races where you look for the action at the back rather than what's happening at the front. Okay. They get the bell this time around and the eliminations will begin next lap. But at the back, it is still number 35, Lilia Tataranoff. Maya Dillon there as well. The two N-Swiss girls, what can they do? But it is Tataranoff, our first one out. I think maybe Lilia was happy to get out on that one. But on the front, driving the pace, Ella Liang. Now it's Maya Dillon, our next one out. As the laps start rolling through. And the pace definitely high at the front now. That's Riley Boyd doing that. That's Alexis Phillips out. Indy Plant in trouble at the back as they're all strung out along the back straight. Indy with a bit of work to do to get around the outside. Riley Boyd still hitting it at the front. As Indy Plant is our next one eliminated. So Riley Boyd, you can see he's putting in the effort here. He really wants to break this one up. So Riley Boyd looking super comfortable on his wheel. Armley Sanders, 46, the next one out. April Cat. Now Nico from UQ, Josh Nixon. He's going to go long, long range with about 12 laps to go. 48, our next one out. That's Morella Willis-Hell. So Riley Boyd, who did all of this damage, has got them all strung out. So if you're at the back, there's not a lot of places to go. Nico across the line. He's safe. Ben Woods, the next one out. Now Nixon, who was off the front, finds himself maybe in a little bit of trouble here. Nixon pulls a hammy or something from the front to the back in 2 laps. So Bradshaw, she makes her way out of trouble now. And she might be in trouble now. Cruises across the line, Milan Bradshaw. Now Riley Boyd, he was at the front for a while. He has to get back around the outside. Now we've got the QAS squad. They're in trouble down the bottom. Bad spot to be in for the QAS ladies. At least Danica Blinko eliminated. Tough spot to be in now. That looks like it might be Lauren Perry at the back, as our sprinters are all succumbing to the pace. Lauren Perry looks around. She's out. That might be Ella Liang next in line. As Armley Sanders on the front doing Armley Sanders things. That is Ella Liang, our next one out. Armley Sanders and Riley Boyd and Josh Nixon doing a lot of the damage in this elimination heat too. As Emma Stevens looked around, realised no one was behind her, she's out. Riley Boyd now again finds himself out the back in this final 5, but the pace has come right off. Riley Boyd with a late charge. He's going to go up the track. And it pays off. It's Thomas Williamson, our next rider eliminated. Riley Boyd with a sneak attack from the back. As the pace came off, Riley just able to hold on for one more, but that might be it. So it is Riley Boyd out this time around. Now we're down to 3. Armley Sanders, Seb Freer. I've just missed the number on the right on the front. This 38 is out. That's Sophie Sutton. That was the rider I was missing. So it's Armley Sanders and Seb Freer. So they come around for the line. Armley Sanders, boy, she can ride a bicycle. Across the line she goes. Armley Sanders wins heat 2, followed by Seb Freer. Next up in heat 3, we have the family, Douglas Savage with Cam and Maddie. Flynn Jensen, Oscar Winchester, Josh Franks, April Paddy, Bella Potts, Eden Sealy Cunnington, Kata Smalley, the Hutton twins, David and Greg, Maddie Smith, Max Edwards, Flynn Larkins, Victoria Smith, Peter Macris, Sandra Stoy, Jerry O'Connell and Rory Fisk. So 2 riders out from this heat, Josh Franks and Sandra Stoy. As we roll off, it's going to be Flynn Jensen off the front, Bella Potts and April Paddy there as well. Very casual roll to the line, waiting for them all to bunch up. That's Kata Smalley and Cam Douglas Savage. So they get the whistle. We're off and rolling for our Heat 3 elimination. We've seen some very strung out races with the Enduros really pushing the limits of the sprinters. What will we see this time around? As they all start to bunch up around the back straight, Cam Douglas Savage has decided he doesn't want to be anywhere near the back. So we hit the bell, we'll start our eliminations, and looking to the back, it's our favourite electrician, Peter Macris. Could be in trouble there on the bottom. He's boxed in by Woods a little bit. Macris waiting for the gap to open, but it might not be there. But it's number 56. Peter Macris is eliminated. So he makes his way up the track. Now Oscar Winchester finds himself, no, Oscar Winchester's all right, it's Max Edwards in trouble. He's Max Edwards eliminated. He's on that under 15 gear. I'm not sure he knows he is eliminated. But now it's Oscar Winchester who's in trouble. But off the front, we have David Hutton seeing the pace. And Woods out now, Barry Woods, Kata Smalley and Larkins closing that gap to the front. Flynn Jensen, they're all lined up behind him. I don't know why they've sat behind the under 15 gear. They should be doing all the work to help Flynn get across. Oscar Winchester now, our next rider eliminated. Cam Douglas Savage, our next one out. Matty Douglas Savage, the next one in the firing line. Good riding from Maddie. She's got April Paddy boxed in a little bit there, but April with the legs. So no elimination that time around. I think Cam Douglas Savage. Now Matty Douglas Savage eliminated. Made a last ditch effort to get through. Couldn't make it. On the front, Jerry not doing bad. Setting the pace. Good move. He set the tempo that he wants. Followed by Smalley, Larkins, Hutton. Maddie Smith. She's eliminated this time around. Now it's April Paddy in trouble in the sprinters lane. It's April Paddy. Now it's Rory Fisk finds himself in an unenviable position. But it might be Greg Hutton as Rory goes around the outside. So Greg Hutton out the back while David Hutton on the front. Now Bella Potts takes the lead. She's got Larkins for company and Smalley. Jensen's still in there as well. Now Jerry with his work done. Jerry O'Connell, he's out. Eden Sealy-Cunnington just off the back a little bit. Not sure if she thought she was out already or not, but she's rolled down onto the duck board. Eden Sealy-Cunnington eliminated this time around. Now Jensen, not boxed in, but not in a great spot either. But it might be Cater in trouble here. It is Cater Smalley in trouble. That gives Flynn Jensen a lap to get around Rory Fisk on his outside. Larkins looks around. He's got Hutton for company. Jensen just in a box that he couldn't get out of. Rory Fisk holding him in. Not a bad move from Rory, fairly new to this track cycling business. Now 4 to go. Larkins, Hutton, Fisk and Potts. Is Bella in trouble? We know she's got a kick and she uses it. So Rory Fisk finds himself eliminated. Smart move from Bella. So now Larkins, Potts and Hutton. Bit of gamesmanship at there with Hutton and Larkins as Potts is eliminated. Bell lap, so it's Larkins and Hutton as Hutton goes on the inside. Caught Larkins napping a little bit. Down the back straight, Hutton uses those gears. He's got to find some leg speed, Larkins, to get around, but it's going to be Hutton all the way. Good work from David Hutton. He'll take the win, followed by Larkins. Next up, our final elimination, our young superheroes, Whitfield, Evie Rose, Paddy, Jack and Winter. Rory Fisk looks like he's pretty happy with that one. Good job, Rory. That kid always has a smile. Following our eliminations, we're going to head into progressive points. Then back to some keirins. A couple of hare and hounds later on. And that'll finish us off for the after. Oh no, we've got Italian Pursuit. I like the program that Louise Jones has put together. Going to be some good hard racing to start with, and a bit of a mix-up at the end with hare and hounds and Italian Pursuits. As Heat 4 begins, and it's Paddy Richardson on the front in a familiar spot with Winter Bradshaw on his wheel, followed by Evie Rose, Whit and Jack. So 3 free laps, and then our eliminations will begin. As the tactics start already, Evie Rose heads towards the front and swiftly swings up the track. Jack Morling coming around the outside. Wise move not to use too much juice too early. as Evie Rose heads back into the sprinters lane. As our riders are going to treat this look like a scratch race by the look of it. So Whitfield just off the back now. Jack Morling just giving up a bike length or two. He'll want to close this one down in the next lap or so. Evie Rose just opens up the gap now as well. Whitfield, our first rider out from heat 4. Morling now, look at that turn of pace down the back straight around Evie Rose. But it's Paddy Richardson. Looks under his shoulder, sees Winter Bradshaw. Then it's Jack Morling, Evie Rose, our next rider out. Jack Morling just off the pace a little bit. Can he come back in this back straight as Paddy and Winter trade positions at the front? Looks like Paddy and Winter will juke this one out as Paddy gets out. Jack Morling out now. Now Paddy and Winter, they come through. They've got a bit of support in the crowd by the sound of that as well. That's Henry and Judd over on the far side. As Paddy tilts his head, gets the elbows out. A good tight finish just over the top of Winter Bradshaw. So some great racing area eliminations this afternoon. And now we head into our progressive points. 8 laps. Mitch Stevens, Will Emilias, Toby Jones, Mitch Louis, Seb Topping, Chris Mullins, Angus Withington, Lockie Walters, Max Woodruff, Paddy May, Xavier Bland, GT, Luca Pyatt, Caleb Blitchfeld, Corey Boddington and Ruben Smith. See who's keen on collecting points from the get-go. Hoi, 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 if you're after a deal. Check out the Rego desk. We've got some choc chip cookies and some other goods for sale by donation down at the Rego desk if you come up the vehicle access ramp. All proceeds going to the junior riders heading to Worlds. So if you want to head over to the Rego desk on the back straight, right near where George Tucker is, you can buy some cookies. It's all by donation to help support those young riders heading off to Worlds. So, progressive points. Boddington going to lead this one out. It's one of our riders still strapping in. So, 8 laps, only the first rider across the line gets any points. First lap will be 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points as you progress through. Seen riders like Lockie Walters act like Pac-Man during these events and collect points with no hesitation from the get-go. Can they do the same thing here today? And the pace is on from the very, very start. It's number 44. He goes through first. That's Max Woodruff. He collects the point. So right around, George Tucker, he looks like he wants to get a couple as well. If he can get across the line first, he'll get 2. He can't though, it's Mitchell Stevens collects 2. Now, did I say something about Lachlan Walters earlier on? I think I may have. That might be Mitch Louis. It is Mitch Louis. He comes through for 3 points. He's going to go on with it too. I think this might have surprised the field. The young sprinter comes through, collects another 4. So that takes him to 7. As he rolls up, that's a good haul of points. Now it's Lockie Walters. He's going to roll through. Hits the gas pedal and he opens the gap. Walters collects 5. And the gap is there that Walters may go on with this and run the laps down. Walters comes through. He gets another 6. So to him, straight to the top of the leaderboard, Lockie Walters on 11, followed by Mitch Louis on 7. Lockie Walters, he'll come round and get a few more. So Walters gets another 7. He can relax now. He's got this one all sewn up. It's around the outside for the final points. That might be Toby Jones. Toby Jones collects our final points across the line. That might be enough to get him into 2nd position. As we look to the board, might have been a lapped rider in there. So Lockie Walters doing what he does, collecting a handful of points in the middle of the race, enough to make himself unbeatable. Next up in our progressive points, Olivia Wright, Ella Liang, Danica Blinko, Emma Stevens, Ebony Robinson, Seb Freer, Ben Woods, Riley Boyd, Lachlan Trenton, Isaac Byrne, Tom Williamson, Maya Dillon, Lilia Tataranoff, Armely Sanders, Sophie Sutton, Lauren Perry, April Catt, Paige Squire, Morella Willis-Hell and Nico Joshua Nixon. So there you go, confirmation, Toby Jones getting that final sprint for 8 points. So Toby Jones slides up into 2nd. Lockie Walters with the win though on 18 points. Toby Jones on 8. Mitch Louis on 7. Mitch Stevens on 2. Right, we might have more riders scratched from this race than we do have starting. So, on the track, Ella Liang, Danica Blinko, Emma Stevens, Seb Freer, Ben Woods, Riley Boyd, who we saw light up the eliminations, Tom Williamson, there's the whistle as we start, Armely Sanders, Sophie Sutton, Lauren Perry, April Catt and Josh Nixon. Who's hungry for the early points? And we've got a rider off the front straight away. It's number 46, April Catt. She collects a point. It's going to come around again, try and get another one. That might be Riley Boyd just waiting in her wheel. So April Catt goes through again. But it's Tom Williamson who now inherits the lead. So April Catt, happy with her 3 points, goes to the back. As Williamson heads across the line, he'll get 3 points. He's going to stay there as well. That looks like that is that Ella Liang maybe coming through. Emma Stevens shaking things up. Lauren Perry now onto the front, followed by Danica Blinko. Lauren Perry collects some points. She gets 4. Now the gap opens up at the front. Armley Sanders sitting patiently in 4th wheel. So Lauren Perry, will she come through and get more? She can't hold on as Blinko gets some points. Now Armley Sanders. Riley Boyd coming up behind fast with a bit of speed. But Armley Sanders, we've seen her do this many, many times. Armley Sanders collects the points this time around. And she'll go for all of them. And she's getting chased down fairly quickly by Seb Freer. But Armley Sanders, she'll get the second last points on offer. That'll take her to the top of the leaderboard. Can she hold off Seb Freer? She doesn't have to. She's got enough points in the bag. So Armley Sanders on 13. She'll be unbeatable from this point on. But Seb Freer, he'll move himself up into second position. Just in front of Danica Blinko. So smart riding there from Armley Sanders. Waited until the bigger points were on offer and then went for it. Next up for Heat 3, Cam Douglas Savage. Josh Franks, I don't think is here today. April Paddy, Bella Potts, Eden Sealy Cunnington, Kata Smalley, Dave Hutton, Maddie Smith, Flynn Larkins, Vic Smith, Peter Macris, Sandra Stoy and Jared O'Connell. So no Josh Franks or Sandra Stoy for this one. Sandra saving her legs for the Keirins. Next up, I think. So good ride from Armley Sanders, freshly back from Europe, where she was riding with the ARA Skip Capital development team. Some great podiums. I think she got a win there as well in one of the Comesses or Criteriums. As our next heat rolls around, and it's Bella Potts on the front. Larkins and Smalley making their way around. They get up next to Cam Douglas Savage. It's on the front, Bella Potts, April Paddy, Kata Smalley. He's going to go for some early points. Maddie Smith going with him. Kata gets the first points in the bag. Now, will he go on with this as he looks around and see Bella is still there? So Kata will come round. He'll get another 2 points. That'll take him to 3, the only points collector so far. Looks quite comfortable on the front as well, controlling the pace, but now Bella Potts. But Kata maintains that speed. Has he got the legs to keep going? Another 3 in the bag, so that'll take him to 6. Now we start to see some movement in the mid-pack. Larkins goes around Douglas Savage. As Smalley will come through and collect another round of points. Larkins goes around the outside of all of them. He's on the hunt now. Larkins opens up the gap straight away. Not bad, young man. So Flynn Larkins opens up the gap by about 20 metres. Cam Douglas Savage giving chase. Larkins collects the points with 3 laps to go. He'll collect 5, but it's Cater Smalley with all the points so far on 10. Larkins on 5. Larkins will get another 6 this time around as we start to see Hutton start to wind up that big gear coming around 3 and 4. Larkins will put another couple in the bag with 2 to go. So Larkins needs to hold on for another lap to get the points. Hutton coming quick though. Dave Hutton, he knows he's got the gear to go around the outside. Larkins to 11, Hutton around the outside of Larkins. Hutton will run away with this one now. So Hutton collects the points. He gets 7 and he'll collect another 8 this time around. So it'll be Hutton, Larkins and Smalley. Cater Smalley doing a good job. He collected enough at the start to keep himself on the podium. David Hutton cruises across the line. Larkins and Douglas Savage having a mini battle. Larkins beaten by Douglas Savage. Woods in there. April Paddy, Eden Sealy Cunnington all across the line now. So good ride there from Dave Hutton. Next up in Heat 4, Rory Fisk, Milan Bradshaw, Indy Plant, Alexis Phillips, Oscar Winchester, Matty Douglas Savage, Flynn Jensen.
Start finish, the 2 non-starters in Heat 4, riders number 61, 61 and 62, 62.
Milan and Indy out of this one. So it's Rory, Alexis, Oscar, Matty, Flynn, Greg Hutton and Max Edwards will take to the boards. As our riders start to roll around, to be Flynn Jensen on the front, followed by MDS, Matty Douglas Savage. Then Max Edwards, Rory Fisk, Oscar Winchester, Alexis Phillips. And Greg Hutton. The race is on. Max Edwards looks like he wants to go around the outside. Flynn Jensen doesn't want to give those up, those. Jensen collects the first point. Controlling it from the front. Now Edwards goes around the outside. Douglas Savage going with him. So Edwards around the outside of Jensen. Jensen out of the saddle to get into Matty Douglas Savage's wheel. Edwards collects some points. Looks like he's going to stay on the front. Matty Douglas Savage into his wheel, followed back by Jensen, Fisk, Winchester, Phillips, and Greg Hutton. Now Matty Douglas Savage with a move around the outside. She'll collect some points. This is her playground, Matty Douglas Savage. Now Max Edwards goes again. Flynn Jensen, can he get the draft and come around the outside on 3 and 4? Max Edwards has been on the front for quite some time. As Jensen tries to go, but I think Max Edwards holds on for that one. It is Max, he collects another 4. So that takes Max to 6, he's in a good spot. Now Rory Fisk, oh, that was tight. Rory Fisk in the sprinters lane, but it's Oscar Winchester around the outside. Where did he come from? Oscar Winchester, he collects 5 points. Now the 2 young riders who ride together at Jets, Rory and Oscar. Greg Hutton making a comeback now. He's got that big gear to wind up. Now Rory, he'll collect some points. He gets 7. 6, sorry. Collects the points. Now Greg Hutton, though, he can gobble these up quickly in the last 2 laps and get some big points on the board. As Greg Hutton pushes, he gets it over the top of Rory Fisk. Greg Hutton collects 7. That'll put him on the top of the leaderboard. Max Edwards did a great job. He collected enough points that he's still in second. Greg Hutton now across the line. He'll go to 15. So good win there from Greg. Max Edwards, the under 15, doing a great job, collecting 6 points and staying on the podium. He's equal with Rory Fisk. That's Oscar Winchester, Matty Douglas Savage and Flynn Jensen. Special request song from Ian Jones, Uptown Girl. He used to dance to this at the disco back in the 80s. Pleasure to put it on for you, mate. It's a good sport, Ian Jones. He didn't really request it, but he did dance to it. All right, next out, Paddy Richardson, Winter Bradshaw, Evie Rose, Whitfield, and Jack Muller. These five have had a great couple of races so far. Kylie Jones now in the commentary booth to dance with Ian to Uptown Girl. Right, Paddy Richardson on the front. Paddy collects the first point. Now Jack Muller making a good move. Bit too high there around the outside. He could have saved some pedal strokes, but he goes down the back straight. Paddy looks across. So Jack Muller stays up high. Can he use that banking down the home straight? I think he can. If he can get there, Paddy out of the saddle. Oh, I think Jack Muller might have just got that one. He did. Jack Morling, well done, mate. That's 2 points in the bag. Now Winter and Evie Rose haven't got anything yet. Paddy wants to get more points. Winter trying to come around the outside, but it's Paddy Richardson. Collects another 3. Paddy Richardson in control. As Paddy comes into the front straight, no one able to break his stranglehold on these points except for Jack Morling. So Jack, the only other rider to collect points. Doesn't want to go a lap down though, so he'll have to keep pedaling. Whitfield comes across the line. Now Winter. Is this the attack that she can get across the line? Can't do it as Paddy looks backwards with 3 laps to go. Paddy collects another 5. Still open though, if a rider can get the last 2 laps, they'll get 15. If Paddy gets this one, he will be unbeatable. Now Winter really pushing. Evie Rose along the top, really pushing. Paddy with the throw. That'll be enough to get him the points. Now Winter with another sprint. I think Paddy's run out of legs, but he's collected the points. He's still going to challenge to the line. Paddy gets another set of points. Evie Rose out of it now. Winter, what has she got left? Paddy Richardson asserting his dominance now. As he comes across the line, he collects the last of the points. And that'll take him to 34. Got all the points bar 2. Good job, Paddy Richardson. Up on the Corso level, Vanessa Douglas-Savage. She's got Book of the Week Club going. Come and see Vanessa. She'll help you read some great reads for the week, and we'll catch up tomorrow to see what happened. Dot Jensen already excited to know what the next week's title is. Chris Jensen did his homework. He's already read it. Here we go for our next round of keirins. Great opportunity at AMV's Velodrome, having a keirin camp on Monday. What an opportunity for riders young and old alike. In this first heat, Mitchell Stevens, Toby Jones, Mitch Louis, Ben Woods, Angus Withington, Patrick May and Xavier Bland. On the front will be Ben Woods, followed by Toby Jones. Then we've got Patrick May, Xavier Bland there. Then it looks like it'd be Mitch Louis, Angus Withington and Mitchell Stevens in the SA kit. As our Blackburn rider takes off from the front, that's Ben Woods. Could see Glenn Lake on the back straight as well, doing some commissaring up from Victoria. As our Derny is once again been ridden by Aaron Liang. So no changes so far. It's Woods followed by Jones. So Woods still on the front. Then it's Jones, Patrick May in third wheel. Then it's Xavier Bland, Mitch Louis, Withington and Stevens. Bit of a gap opening in front of the first rider. Just pulled that one back in. So Woods, Toby Jones now, he decides to go. Mitch Louis stalking in fourth wheel. He goes around Woods. But it's Jones on the front. He's got May with him. Bland now. Making ground. Now Mitch Louis goes. Look at that turn of pace down the back straight. Mitch Louis, no wonder he's going to Worlds. Mitch Louis around into turn one, out of turn two, down the back straight. Still keeping May. Just May keeping him honest as they head into the front straight. May comes back. Patrick May gets the win over Mitch Louis. Mitch doing a lot of work, but Patrick May held his ground. A great win. Our next heat, Heat 2, Will Emilias, Seb Topping, Chris Mullins, Riley Boyd, Lockie Walters, Max Woodroff, and Georgie Tucker. Looks like George Tucker. He's drawn the number 1 spot. Followed by Max Woodruff, Chris Mullins. That'll be Will Emilias, followed by Riley Boyd and Seb Topping. So riders take their place behind the Derny. It's George Tucker. Will lead them through. No changes on the first lap. After that, the riders can move around. Stacked heat. So Tucker followed by Max Woodruff. They got George Tucker, Woodruff. And we've got the number 19, Seb Topping. So it's Lockie Walters at the back. My apologies. Then it's Chris Mullins, Will Emilias and Riley Boyd. As the Derny rolls off and it's George Tucker inherits the lead. So Tucker and Woodruff still on the front. Seb Topping biding his time. Will Emilias coming through over the top of Mullins. Riley Boyd coming through now, but it's Lockie Walters stalking from the back with 2 laps to go. It's still Tucker on the front. Tucker looks around. Now they start to move. Woodruff out of the saddle. Now GT with a seated acceleration into turn 3 and 4. That's a good turn of pace by GT. So they get the bell. So Tucker's still on the front. Now Topping around the outside. Tucker holding his own, but it's Topping around the outside. He swishes past them. Lockie Walters coming around the outside now. So Topping with a dominant win in front of Lockie Walters and Woodruff. So good win there from Seb Topping, timed it well. GT had a good run at the front. Ready? So good ride there. Next up, Heat 3, Cater Smalley, Seb Freer, Lockie Trenton, David Hutton, Luca Pyatt, Caleb Blitchfeld and Corey Boddington. We haven't seen Lockie Trenton, I think, today. 2, 4. Or maybe just missed a race. So to be Cater Smalley on the front. He'll be followed by Seb Freer. Then it'll be David Hutton. And we have Luca Pyatt, Corey Boddington, Caleb Blitchfeld. And that is Lockie Trenton on the back. We just missed him the last time around. So Cater Smalley will lead out Freer, Hutton, Pyatt, Boddington, Blitchfeld and Trenton. So we roll around. No changes so far, so it's still Cater on the front, followed by Freya. So one more lap behind the Derny. Now Blitchfeld celebrating the 4th of July this week as he makes his way around. Lockie Trenton heard the call for him. Come on, Lockie. As they head down the back straight. So Cater and Caleb Blitchfeld on the front. Seb Freer just stuck a little bit there behind Cater. Now Boddington winds it up with 2 to go. How do you keep up with that? And the answer is, I'm not sure so far. As Boddington flies down the front straight, opens up 15 metres over Hutton. Then it's Blitchfeld. So Hutton giving it a good run now down the back straight. Corey's turned it off. He might have to turn it back on again as Hutton comes around. Oh, I think Hutton caught Boddington napping on that one. We'll check for the results, but I think Hutton might have snatched that one. There you go, David Hutton gets the win across the line over Corey Boddington. That's some bragging rights right there. David Hutton going back to Cairns to brag about beating Corey Boddington. All right, next up, Heat 4, Isaac Byrne, Tom Williamson, Flynn Larkins, Peter Macris, Jared O'Connell, Josh Nixon and Ruben Smith. So Peter Macris on the front, followed by Jared O'Connell, followed by Josh Nixon. So Derny starts to roll around. It'll be Peter Macris leading us out. So Macris, O'Connell, Nixon. Then it's Isaac Byrne. I think that might have been Ruben Smith in 5th wheel there. Followed by Tom Williamson and Flynn Larkins. So Ruben Smith, now Larkins coming around the outside. Ruben Smith got him covered though. So they all start to look around. The UQ train at the front, all pretty happy as they all battle at the back. As the Derny rolls in, Macris will lead this one out. Jerry stuck to his wheel. Nixon looks around. Now Larkins and Smith coming around the outside. They both get bumped up the track a little bit there. Now we're on with 2 laps to go. Macris out of the saddle. But changing the pace, Isaac Byrne really starting to light things up now. Ruben Smith around the outside. Now Macros has to kick again. Larkin's pedaling at a zillion miles an hour to keep up. But Ruben Smith around the outside. And he might have this one sewn up as Nixon tries to come around. Ruben Smith, he's not going to do a Corey Boddington. He comes across the line. So Ruben, Nixon, and then followed across the line by Isaac Byrne. Good racing. Next up, Heat 5, Ella Liang, Emma Stevens, Maya Dillon, Lauren Perry, Morella Willis-Hell, and Victoria Smith. Thanks, mate. So Lauren Perry is going to lead this one out, followed by Emma Stevens and Maya Dillon. Ella Liang there in fourth wheel. Morella Willis-Hell, and then Victoria Smith on the back. So as Lauren Perry gets back onto the back of the Derny. So Perry, Stevens, Dillon, Liang, Willis-Hell, and Smith. Riders all looking fairly comfortable in their position that they're in so far. Lauren Perry starts to look around to see if anyone's coming. There's no one yet. Emma Stevens, she has a look around. Maya Dillon looking straight ahead. She's glued to Emma Stevens' wheel. Saw Emma Stevens win the foot race up at Bundaberg last October or November. Lady of many talents. Willis-Hell now making her way around the outside. That's Lauren Perry though. In control at the front with 2 laps to go, and it's Liang. Really wants to push it now, and she goes around. Lauren Perry, Stevens the first to react. Liang gets out of the saddle again, pushes it hard over the top of the bars. Stevens coming now. Our QAS riders on the front. Emma Stevens around the outside of Liang, down the back straight. Lauren Perry starting to come back. Maya Dillon coming back, but it's all Emma Stevens at the front. Ella Liang holds her position. Emma Stevens on the front, followed by Liang. Maya Dillon with a last second lunge to the line to get Lauren Perry. Then it's Willis-Hell and Victoria Smith. Next up, Heat 6, Olivia Wright, Lilia Tatarinov, Sophie Sutton, Milan Bradshaw, Indy Plant and Alexis Phillips. So riders start to roll around. So it's going to be Indy Plan on the front, followed by Olivia Wright, Alexis Phillips. As they all start to come through. Going to be Lilia Tatarinov, Milan Bradshaw, and Sophie Sutton. Expecting a fast race from this one. A few of these ladies skipped out on the progressive points. I'm guessing to save their legs, so I'm hoping they go fast this time around. No pressure, Indy Plant. So Indy leads us off, followed by Olivia, Alexis. Then it's Sophie Sutton. Then Milan Bradshaw. And Lilia Tatarinov. Good to see the Walters trackside as well, here to support Lockie. Jace promised me he was going to get on a track bike soon. Hannah Walters not riding today. She had a good tour last week at Balmoral Tour though. Look forward to seeing her at States this weekend in Bundaberg. Good young rider, Hannah. As the Derny rolls off and Indy Plant, Olivia Wright goes around the outside. Milan Bradshaw right up there as well. So Olivia Wright and Milan, Indy on terms. Alexis just a little bit off Sophie and Lilia. Just coming around the outside of Alexis now with 2 laps to go. But it's Olivia Wright has Milan Bradshaw glued to her back disc. As they head down the back straight, Indy Plant gets back on terms. Sophie Sutton and Lilia Tatarinov, they're back on it now with a lap to go. Here we go. Lilia around the outside. Caught them all napping. Lilia Tatarinov got the bell, went around the outside, opened the gap by 20, 25, 30 metres. Lilia, Olivia Wright, Milan Bradshaw, Indy and Sophie. We are flying through these keirin heats. Next up, Heat 7. Danica Blinko, Ebony Robinson, Armley Sanders, Maddie Smith, April Catt, Paige Squire and Sandra Stoy. So good win there from Tatarinov. Olivia Wright, Milan Bradshaw, Indy Plant, Sophie Sutton and Alexis Phillips. Lilia just caught them all. She was off the back by quite a way and she came round and didn't look back. Next up on the front, Armley Sanders. She's followed by Danica Blinko. Then we've got Paige Squire, Maddie Smith. Sorry, that's Sandra in third wheel. My apologies, Sandra. Followed by Maddie Smith, then Paige Squire. And off the back, April Cat. No Ebony Robinson in this one. So April Cat in that sixth wheel. On the front, it's Armley Sanders. Then Danica Blinko, Sandra Stoy, Maddie Smith, Paige Squire and April Cat. So head around with 4.5 laps to go. No changes in the field, but they're all starting to look around. Except one, Armley Sanders. She's fully concentrated on the back wheel of that Derny. Danica Blinko just checking to make sure Sandra Stoy's there, and she closes that gap down. You can't open that gap too much between yourself and the rider in front. As Bear Liang rolls off and Armley Sanders inherits the lead, and she pushes the pedal. She might go long distance on this one as Blinko drags them all back. But Armley still with a bike length or two. 2 laps to go. Now Blinko comes up on Armley's wheel. She looks around, no one coming. Now April Cat coming around the outside. Now Blinko goes. Armley Sanders looks around, but Blinko with a great turn of speed. Sandra Stoy coming around the outside of him. Armley Sanders can't do it. April Cat trying to come around the outside now. But Danica Blinko looks around. Daylight. Armley Sanders. And then April Cat. Sandra Stoy. Maddie Smith and Paige Squire. Our next heat up, heat 8, Cam Douglas Savage, Maddie Douglas Savage, April Paddy, Eden Sealy Cunnington, Greg Hutton and Rory Fisk. I think Woods is in there as well. So on the front it will be Eden Sealy Cunnington. Then Woods, Maddie Douglas Savage. April Paddy, Cam Douglas Savage. Hutton and Fisk. So just a quick track check by the commissaires. Looks like there might be a bit of a splinter sticking up right on that front straight. Sabotage by Cam Douglas Savage. So there's a bit of a gouge out of the track, but the keirins are run down the bottom of the track, so we'll run through these last couple of heats and then have a quick look before we get on to the next rounds. Eden Sealy Cunnington, she'll lead this one out. Followed by Woods, Douglas Savage, Paddy, Douglas Savage, Hutton just missed his wheel there, and then Fisk. So Hutton will come back in. So Fisk opens the door. Good riding. As we roll around, no changes so far with 1 lap down under the Derny. 4.5 laps to go. So still no changes. Rory Fisk at the rear. Eden Sealy Cunnington at the front. As the Derny rolls off. Special request from the handball player in the middle. He likes a bit of BGs apparently. Eden Sealy Cunnington rolls this one around. 2 laps to go now. So it's Eden Sealy Cunnington followed by Woods, Douglas Savage, Paddy, Douglas Savage number 2, Hutton and Fisk. So Sealy Cunnington still on the front. Woods looks around now. Maddie Douglas Savage, she's going to go for a flyer on the bell lap. Woods has that one covered. They're all going now. April Paddy, where's she going? As Fisk comes up underneath Sealy Cunnington. Woods around the outside of 3 and 4 into the front straight. Looks around. Maddie Douglas Savage. Great ride. I think Cam Douglas Savage came in for 3rd there as well. Maddie Douglas Savage, a great ride. Not taking away from Woods, who took the win. Next up, Heat 9, our second last keirin for the day. Flynn Jensen, Oscar Winchester, Bella Potts and Max Edwards. All right, on the front for this one, the young man, Oscar Winchester. He's followed by Flynn Jensen, followed by the other young man, Max Edwards. And see Martin Edwards out there watching this afternoon as well. Great supporter of his son. And Bella Potts will be in 4th wheel. This should be a short, sharp one. 4 riders. It's all Balmoral, apart from Max Edwards from Hamilton Wheelers. So as we roll around, so it's Winchester, Jensen, Edwards, and Potts. Bella Potts leaving the junior ranks at the end of the year, heading into the under-19s. Feels like Bella has been a staple in the juniors for a long, long time. Four laps to go, one more behind the Derny. Throw around 3 laps to go. The Derny rolls into the infield as Oscar Winchester inherits the lead. He's got Jensen looking very comfortable on his wheel, followed by Edwards and Potts. So still Winchester on the front, followed by Jensen. Jensen, Edwards, Bella Potts moves up the track. Gee, she's good at that. She uses the track to all her advantage, gets the run down the hill, goes around the outside of Oscar Winchester as they head down the front straight. Now Bella, a very good individual pursuiter. Can she hold off the chasing Flynn Jensen and Oscar Winchester? Max Edwards just off the back now as he sits up. But Bella Potts into the front straight. Takes a comfortable win over Oscar, Flynn and Max. Smart move from Bella Potts. So good at reading the race and using the track to her advantage. Heat 10, our final keirin for this afternoon will be Whitfield and Evie Rose, Henderson Cunnington, Paddy Richardson, Jack Morling, and Winter Bradshaw. After this, the comms will just have a quick check of that track on the front straight before we head into our hare and hounds. So Winter Bradshaw, she draws the number 1 spot with that awesome purple hair, followed by Evie Rose, followed by Paddy, followed by Jack and Whitfield. So Winter jumps in behind the Derny, followed by Evie Rose, Paddy, Jack and Whit. One lap down, 2 to go for our final keirin for this afternoon. We'll of course be back tomorrow morning for more keirin action. We still have hare and hounds to go this afternoon and Italian pursuits. Said it before, great program from Louise that she's put together. So as Derny rolls off, Winter inherits the lead. Jack looks like he's going to go for a bit of a run around the outside. And again, he goes high. the long way around. Does it well though, gets a good run in from the boards on the back straight as Jack Mooling heads into 3 and 4 with a bike length over Evie Rose. They're heading to the front straight with 2 laps, 500 metres to go. Jack Mooling now in control of the race. Now Winter with a lap and a half to go. She wants to move around the outside. She comes up alongside Evie Rose. Paddy trying to use the boards to his advantage. They'll get the bell this time around. Now Jack needs to kick. It's Evie Rose who comes around the outside. And Jack comes back on the inside. Winter back onto Jack's wheel. Evie Rose runs out of juice down the back straight as they head into 3 and 4. Jack Mooling, he's going on for a good one here. If he can kick to the line, Paddy Richardson around the outside. Paddy Richardson with a late lunge just over Mooling and Bradshaw. Whitfield across the line as well. Good ride there from Jack Mooling. He controlled it, just got pipped on the line. Confirmation, Richardson, Mooling, Bradshaw, Henderson, Cunnington. So comms just have a quick look at the track. Short break and then we'll come back to our Hare and Hounds. So Hare and Hounds, 8 laps. So the riders on the back straight will get a half lap advantage. It'll be up for the Hounds to chase them down. All right, on the home straight for the hounds this time around, Olivia Wright, Ella Liang, Danica Blinko, Emma Stevens, Emily Robinson out of this one, Maya Dillon, Lilia Tataranoff, she had a great win in the keirin, Sophie Sutton and Lauren Perry. On the back straight, our hares, April Paddy, Bella Potts, Eden Sealy Cunnington, Maddie Smith, April Cat, Paige Squire scratching, Morella Willis-Hell, Vic Smith out there, Sandra Stoy and Milan Bradshaw scratchings, Indy Plant and Alexis Phillips. Riders, attention. All right, as our hounds get off to a good start, but it's Bella Potts on the far side of the track, has got the hares off to an absolute scramble. Sorry, it is Bella Potts on the front, followed by Victoria Smith, Alexis Phillips, April Paddy. They're riding like they're on fire. They've opened up the gap to the hounds by about 10 or 15 metres. Now it's number 38, Sophie Sutton, doing all the work for the hounds. They've got their work cut out for them. The hares, they are absolutely getting away into Farmer McDonald's patch and collecting all the cabbages. So the hounds still half a lap behind. Tataranoff now on the front. She's closed the gap just that little bit. Good riding there. So it is Tataranoff doing all the Maya Dillon, who did all the work. Now she hands over to Lauren Perry. And now the hares have absolutely broken apart as the hounds come into the front straight. With Ella Liang leading the charge. They're only about 30 or 40 metres behind now. And the hounds can absolutely see the back wheel of this hares group as Blinko makes the catch, splits the field straight down the middle. With 2.5 laps to go, we're all together. Blinko rolls up. So we're on a race to the end now. Hounds and hares all together. April Paddy, Maddie Smith, Indy Plant. Blinko with all the work to make the catch. Now it's Maya Dillon on the front, followed by Liang and Paddy. Maya doing a lot of the work to catch the hares. But now Bella Potts round the outside. Potts goes the scream. Round the outside, out of 3, out of 4, elbows out, across the line, Bella Potts, April Paddy, and then rider April Cat. There's only 2, 3, 5 races to go. Next up on the home straight, Cam Douglas Savage, Cater Smalley, Riley Boyd, Lockie Trenton, Isaac Byrne, Tom Williamson, David Hutton and Flynn Larkins. They're our hounds on the back straight. Mixing in some of the young guns, Evie Rose, Henderson Cunnington, Paddy Richardson, Maddie Douglas Savage, Flynn Jensen, Oscar Winchester, Greg Hutton, Max Edwards, Jack Morling, Peter Macris, Jerry O'Connell, Winter Bradshaw and Rory Fisk. This will be our final hare and hounds, and then we'll head into the Italian pursuits. Woods is going to lead this one out from the front for the hounds. On the back straight, we've got a few of the junior riders mixed in, so they'll get a bit of a head start on the rest of the field. Right, as our hares get into place. So on the front straight, it'll be Woods who leads out Williamson. They've got Riley Boyd, Flynn Larkins, Isaac Byrne there as well, Lockie Trenton. The number 28, Cater Smalley. We've got Hutton and Douglas Savage. So younger riders will get a little bit of advantage off the start at the front. There's the whistle. So the young riders from the hares, they'll catch on to the back group of the hounds. Give them a bit of an advantage. As you see the hounds start to move in. Douglas Savage looks like he might be lending a helping hand, but he's lost the rest of his hounds. As Flynn Jensen leads out the hares. The hounds working very well together. Riley Boyd, followed by Larkins. Boyd rolls up, Larkins rolls up, Trenton rolls through. Sorry, that was Isaac Byrne, sorry. Then Trenton rolls up, now Cater Smalley. Douglas Savage off the back of the hares. It's going to be a very quick catch for the hounds. So David Hutton, he catches the hares as he goes around. Macris looks around, he can't believe Hutton's already gone by. As Hutton catches that front group, Paddy decides to go. David Hutton around the outside of Jerry. And now it's on, but Hutton, he can go on with this with 3 laps to go. This time around, Jerry on the front. Riley Boyd comes around the outside. As David Hutton, he's got running his own race with 2.5 to go. Riley Boyd, what can he do? A lot of riders still in there as all the hares have been caught. The Hounds come around the outside, but it's Hutton, then Boyd, then Macris, then Trenton. So the front of our race with 1 lap to go, David Hutton gets the bell. And they all chase Riley Boyd. He's been chasing for about 3 laps. But I think David Hutton might have this one sewn up. Still chasing though, Tom Williamson. One last lunge. Larkin's up behind Macris now. But it's David Hutton, followed by Williamson. Larkins gets Macris on the line. So good ride, David Hutton. He got the front and didn't look back. Williamson did a good job. Matty Douglas Savage just over Paddy Richardson. Jerry and Winter having their own little UQ race there at the back. Good job, David Hutton. Next up, we'll have some Italian pursuits. On the home straight, Mitch Stevens, Will Emilias, Toby Jones, Mitch Louis, Chris Mullins, Patrick May, Corey Boddington and Ruben Smith. On the back straight, Cater Smalley, Seb Topping, Ben Woods, Angus Withington, Lockie Walters, Xavier Bland, Caleb Blitchfeld and Josh Nixon. For those who don't know, an Italian pursuit, each team rides in order. The rider on the front will do a lap before pulling off. The second rider will do 1 lap behind the front rider and then 1 lap on the front before they pull to the side, and so on until we only have 1 rider each from each team. Cater Smalley, who just raced the Hare and Hounds, he's straight back up for an Italian pursuit. Says your result from the Hare and Hounds: Hutton, Williamson, Larkins, Macris, Boyd, Trenton, Smalley, Max Edwards, Matty Douglas Savage. All right, as our riders, they will decide their own order of which they're going to go. So generally, your slower rider off the front, or the one who is the most tired will go off the front, and your fastest rider towards the back. So on the back straight, it looks like Cater Smalley will lead out his team. So Cater Smalley will lead the back straight on the front. Mitchell Stevens from South Australia, he'll lead out his team. Followed by Chris Mullins and Will Emilius. And we've got Patrick May. Mitchell Louis, Toby Jones and Corey Boddington will catch the back straight crew as they come round. Bit of a hesitant start from the home straight crew. But we're off to an absolute flyer with Cater Smalley. Bit of a gap though back to his teammates. There's gaps opening up everywhere here. So Cater Smalley on his wheel has got Benjamin Woods. As Woods takes over, now it's Josh Nixon. Toby Jones with a lot of work to do to catch up. He's going to lead out Boddington, but Woods leads through. Mullins rolls off. He hands over to Emilius. Nixon for the back straight crew. They've got about 20 metres over the home straight crew. So Nixon really pushing. Toby Jones just unable to get on terms with Will Emilius as they head through. Now Boyd rolls through for the home straight team. For the back straight team, Angus Withington. The gap down to about 10 metres, but there's a big split in that home straight crew. The back straight looking very strong. Now Mitch Louis. The gap back to Toby Jones is quite large, so Toby doing it all himself. But on the front for the back straight, Xavier Bland. He's done a great job. Mitch Louis looks around, didn't realise Toby was that far behind. But now we can see Seb Topping, can almost see Corey Boddington. This will be a battle between Boddington and Walters. Walters with a handy lead of about 40 or 50 metres. Jones, mammoth effort. Now Boddington's going to have to ride. But Lockie Walters on the home straight, half a lap to go. Boddington, he's got half a lap to go now. On the back straight, Lockie Walters will take the win by about 30 or 40 metres over Corey Boddington. So just 3 more races for this afternoon, all Italian pursuits. So in our next heat on the home straight, Cam Douglas Savage, Seb Freer, Riley Boyd, Lockie Trenton, Tom Williamson, Max Woodruff, Jerry O'Connell and Rory Fisk. On the back straight, Dave Hutton, Flynn Larkins, George Tucker, Greg Hutton, Isaac Byrne, Luca Pyatt and Peter Macris. Okay, so a bit of a changing of the order as we go through with a few scratchings. So on the front straight will be Cam Douglas Savage, Seb Freer, Riley Boyd, Tom Williamson, Jerry O'Connell and Rory Fisk. On the back straight, we'll have Dave Hutton, Flynn Larkins, George Tucker, Greg Hutton, Peter Macris and Max Woodruff. On the front straight, it's going to be Jerry O'Connell going to lead this one out. Jerry, I believe, went to the drive-in movie theatre to watch Footloose back at the release. He's followed by Cam Douglas Savage, Rory Fisk, Freer, Riley Boyd, and Williamson on the back. And we're off. Looks like Greg Hutton on the front for the back straight. Jerry O'Connell leading out for the front straight, followed by Cam Douglas Savage. Looks like a good start, fairly even. Greg Hutton, Georgie Tucker, Peter Macris, Larkins, Max Woodruff, and Dave Hutton as Cam Douglas Savage takes over lead. Now it's George Tucker on the front. Pretty close. There's only a couple of metres in it as George Tucker leads out Peter Macris. So they head down to the back straight. Now Rory Fisk. It's neck and neck as Fisk and Macris take over respective leads. Macris now by about a bike length over Rory Fisk. Larkins will take the lead now. He's got Woodruff on. Now Freer, he takes the lead on the front straight. Larkins now, he comes around. Freer, he's doing a great job. He got a good run through, but they've got about 5 metres, that back straight crew. Larkins about to hand off to Woodruff. Larkins hands it off. Now, Riley Boyd, he goes. He's been riding well. He's followed by Williamson. Woodruff followed by David Hutton. And it's even Stevens for the half, 1.5 laps to go. Woodruff really kicking now. Riley Boyd, he's coming through. Now it's Hutton, he hands over. Now it's Williamson on the front straight. David Hutton opens the accelerator. There's about 10 metres. So David Hutton looks around. It's the back street team that are going to come through with a victory. David Hutton around. Then Williamson across the line for the home straight. So good finish by that back straight Italian pursuit. Good rides. Good pick of the teams too of the starting order. There weren't too many gaps in that one. Next up, we'll mix things up a little bit on the front straight. Whitfield will lead out the home straight team with Oscar Winchester, Ella Liang, April Catt, Vic Smith, Winter Bradshaw, Milan Bradshaw, and Alexis Phillips. On the back straight will be Paddy Richardson, April Paddy, Danica Blinko, Maya Dillon, Lilia Tataranoff, Armley Sanders, Max Edwards, and Sandra Stoy. Thanks, Jason. Good to have you back, mate. I like the confidence boost you give me every time. So don't forget, we've got racing here tomorrow from 10 a.m. and straight into it with a 3-up flying 500. Moving to some scratch races, some sprint derbies, scratch elimination races, some more sprint derbies, a group handicap. And a flying 750, 4-up flying 750. That'll be the end of our day tomorrow. The riders will back up those who chose to for the Keirin camp on Monday. What an opportunity for the riders to get some top-level coaching in their Keirins. Whitfield into the front straight with a head of steam. He'll be followed by Winter Bradshaw. These guys will get a bit of a kickstart from the front straight before the rest of the team is released. So behind Winter will be Alexis Phillips and Victoria Smith. Hey Vic, good to see you down in Brisbane. Ryan Bradshaw will be behind Vic, then Oscar Winchester. April Cat, and then Ella Liang. On the back straight, it's going to be Paddy Richardson lead them out, followed by Max Edwards. And I think that is April Paddy in third wheel. All right, as our second last Italian pursuit is about to get underway. Winter and Whitfield, they're going to get a bit of a lead. There's the whistle. Alexis Phillips will now try and chase down Winter and Whitfield. Whitfield with a very handy half a lap. Paddy Richardson coming through with Max Edwards on his wheel from the back straight. But a good job there from Whitfield. Now Winter Bradshaw, she takes over. Max Edwards, he takes over for the home straight team, or the back straight team. So slight advantage to our home straight team. But as they come into the front straight, it looks like it'll be even Stevens. It is for our third rider, Alexis Phillips and April Paddy, as they take off now. So Alexis Phillips with a good job. April Paddy leading out Sandra Stoy. The back straight have got about 5 or 10 metres just at this stage. So April Paddy opening up the afterburners. Sandra Stoy now. Now Victoria Smith. She gets the head down, head to head with Sandra Stoy. So Victoria Smith about 10 metres behind Sandra Stoy at this stage. As Sandra Stoy heads around, she's about to hand over to Maya Dillon. She does so. Now it's Milan Bradshaw. She takes over for the home straight team. And the back straight, they've got about 15 metres now. Maya Dillon opening that gap up just a little bit more. She hands it off to Tataranoff. Now Oscar Winchester, he's going to have to go. So Tataranoff has made big ingrounds into Oscar Winchester this time around. Now it's Blinko. Now the riders start to move from the home straight. April Cat with a lot of work to do with Ella Liang on her wheel. As Stevens hands it over. Sorry, Danica Blinko hands it over. Armley Sanders and Ella Liang. Armley Sanders takes the win. Ella Liang onto the front straight. So good ride there from both teams as we head into our final race of the afternoon. Don't forget, riders, when you're on your way out, there are choc chip cookies and some other bits and pieces at the Rego desk, all by donation to help the junior riders get over to Worlds in a couple of weeks' time. Okay, on the back straight, we have Evie Rose, Henderson Cunnington, Flynn Jensen, Maddie Smith, Sophie Sutton, Jack Morling, Lauren Perry, Paige Squire and Indy Plant. On the front straight, Maddie Douglas Savage, Bella Potts, Eden Seeley Cunnington, Olivia Wright, Emma Stevens, Ebony Robinson and Morella Willis Hell. Bit uneven this one, so we might have to do a bit of shuffling. Woods has come in. He'll go second wheel behind Maddie Douglas Savage on the front straight. On the back straight will be Evie Rose, Flynn Jensen, and then Indy Plant. So Douglas Savage, Woods. And then Willis Hell on the front. Evie Rose will just get a bit of a head start. There's the race goes. Maddie Douglas Savage out of the blocks. Flynn Jensen on the back straight. Evie Rose, I don't think they needed to give her a quarter of a lap. She's on an absolute flyer, Evie Rose. Not even close. Flynn Jensen about 40 metres behind, so it's Evie Rose. Hands it over to Flynn. Maddie Douglas Savage hands it over to Glenn Woods. But it's Jensen with about 20 metres over Glenn Woods as they stand. So Jensen will hand it over to Plant. He does so. Woods will hand it over to Willis Hell. Willis Hell now on the front of the home straight crew. Indy Plant coming around. She looks strong on the back, followed by Maddie Smith. Not much in it between these two now. Indy Plant burying herself into the back straight. She hands over to Maddie. Willis Hell, she hands it over to Olivia Wright. Not much between them all now. In fact, the home straight have just got in front by about a wheel length over Maddie Smith's side. So Olivia Wright, she hands it over to Emma Stevens. On the back straight, I think this might be Lockie Trenton. No, sorry, that's number 47, Paige Squire, sorry. Emma Stevens hands it over to Bella Potts. She'll be the finisher on the back straight. Lauren Perry, maybe. Bella Potts with a commanding lead. Lauren Perry, she comes across the line, but all eyes on Bella Potts into the front straight. She looks around. She'll take the win in our final Italian pursuit of the night. So well done, Team Potts on the win. Lauren Perry finishing off for the back straight. And Eden Sealy Cunnington coming through. Might have been a bit lopsided there, but Eden Sealy Cunnington finishing that one off. So that's all there is for today. So great racing this afternoon for our first track event of the season. Big thanks to Louise and the commissaires and all the volunteers for all you do. We'll see you back here for On Track at 9 o'clock, racing at 10.